Welcome to Landrianka on YouTube, here to help you break through those fears. Start living that awesome life that you experience once in a while. And you go, oh, I'm great, I'm okay. And then you hit a bad spot and you go back online looking at these videos. I know, I was there once. And I still have those times when I go, you know what, what's this? Okay, better. Oh, did I skip meditation? Yeah, it's practice. You got to keep up with it. So I get inspired by you. And I got a couple comments this morning that really inspired videos that are going to address some of the things that you discuss. Now, I did a video about how it's amazing how people can affect you both positively and negatively along your path. One thing somebody says along the way sticks with you, or an incident sticks with you, and you perceive yourself or the world a certain way because maybe that person had a big impact, or they were an authority figure, a parent or a teacher, and you never quite shook it off. Of course, we know why. It's because you're in that state of density where you look to the outside world for the answers, especially when we're younger. Even though we know certain things, we're still seeking answers. No, you're not coming up here. Koo is not allowed on the couch. My little kitty cat. We still seek the answers outside of ourselves, even though we know as children that we understand that everything is love and the world is beautiful, but then we're told that isn't true. We're told that, what we believe and think and dream about is silliness, and that we have to get into the real world, and that's just being a child. So we separate those two things. We separate being childlike and innocent and really having the real answers from, oh, now I need to be an adult. No more being a child. And that means my way of thinking and believing and my dreams and all those other things that I thought were wonderful no longer are valid in this reality that my parents and everybody else tells me I need to be living. And so what happens is then you're being instructed by those who were told the same thing, and those who have experienced the challenges of being human, and of course lose their ability to dream and connect with the one. So then they're teaching you from that viewpoint, and it just gets more and more dense. And that's what we're here to reverse. That's what we're here to, and I shouldn't even say reverse. Reverse for me is to just make a separate choice, to accept what was going on, not to try and change it or go around telling everybody what they should think, but sharing a new way of believing and thinking. So I want to address this. It was probably what you said, a teacher. Somebody had mentioned that 45 years they carried this statement about what a teacher said to them. And I should have looked up the exact words before I started this, but the bottom line is that whether it was, you're a quitter. Yay, I remembered it. You're a quitter. Well, that could do one of two things. Now, when somebody says something like that to me, nobody would ever call me a quitter, by the way, because I've had years of demonstration that I'm not. Well, when you're a child, you don't have a track record of anything to say, hey, Mrs. Smith, Mr. Smith, I've never been a quitter. You can see from my track record, but you're a child, so you can't say that, and you have no confidence. You're thinking, okay, they're seeing something in me, and they're a teacher, so they should know, right? Wow, so you really have that in the back of your head, and maybe self-sabotage yourself to make it come true. On the other hand, some people are motivated to call them wrong, to prove them wrong. Now, that's a rare case, and I'm one of those people. If somebody tells me I can't do something, I will actually go out of my way and make it happen, right? I've lived my life of going against the odds and winning. And not always, but winning a lot. Why? Because the playing field's smaller when people don't think they can do it, then they don't even bother. I bother, so I have my odds go up because the majority of people aren't even putting the effort in. So what do you do when you've had that statement made, or that thing you've been told, or you're ugly or whatever, and you grow up with this energy? It's just an energy. I want you to remember something. It's never about you. Ever. There's no teacher that sees a child and says, oh, I don't want to do this, but it's my duty. Child, you're never going to be a writer. Or, child, you're not an artist. You better start thinking about something else you want to do. Or, I realize my camera's, I have a short attention span, can you tell? My camera's too high up here. You can see my Christmas tree. So what's happening when that instructor or parent or somebody says something to you that is, could be devastating or just not constructive or negative? It has nothing to do with you. Why would somebody do that? Think about it. What are the intentions? What's the motivation of that person? Do they really think that? Okay, there are two ways you can come at this. One is, back in the old days, they used to say stuff like that to inspire you. I'm going to tell that person this so they're going to want to, never quit. That's that tough love kind of thing. You're a quitter. You can't do this. And the team goes, yeah, we can, coach. We're going to kick butt. Or they're just feeling really insecure themselves, and they're in a position where maybe they can relate to that. Or they were told something like that. Or they're just mean. They're filled with anger, and you're a target. And maybe you're an easy target. Maybe you're one of those kids that's just going to take it. You're easygoing, sweet kid, and, they can get away with saying stuff like that. It's never about you. It has nothing to do with you. It really doesn't. A person never says anything negative unless they're going through something negative themselves. They're coming from a dark place. Can you forgive them? Can you? All right. Taking a sip, let you thinking about that. Can you understand you're a clean slate? Anytime you want to be. Anything you have right now or you're experiencing has been the cause and effect of what you've believed about yourself and all of the actions that you took along the way. So if you're in prison, obviously you don't have a complete clean slate, because those actions have put you in a position where now you're going to have to deal with where you are. But you can come from a clean slate as far as your soul is concerned, your spirit. And that is, you can completely think differently about the world, about yourself, about everything you've ever been told. So, I look at the experiences that we have as children. I realize those are the most profound, because we are looking to the adult world, where we do care about what our parents say. Even if we know that it's not true, it still hurts. It still bothers us. Oh my gosh, I can remember a couple things my mom said. One was about my cooking. I was always cooking all these fancy foods and for holidays, and she made this comment about nobody cares. My family, Midwestern, they wanted something simple, and I'm not a simple girl. I can be simple girl, but I wanted to do a 5-course meal for my family, and instead of just allowing that to happen and saying thank you, my mother felt it in herself, in her whatever, her little negative place she was coming from, that she needed to express that. Why? It was meant to hurt. And my mother was awesome. I mean, my mother really, she loved me, she supported me, I always knew that, but she was very negative, and anything she said negative about me and anybody else, she was very negative about herself. She felt very badly about herself, because she came from a situation of not feeling good about herself, and she was never reinforced. She was never loved. Not the way a child should have been. She had very neglectful parents in that arena. A harsh, kind of situation where I don't think they even hugged her, and my mom's a very sweet person. So she came from a place of neglect, emotional neglect, and just seeing the world as a very negative place. So she's thinking that way. So she's seeing things negatively, and she wants to voice it because it feels good. It gives her power. It empowers her. So that's what's happening. When these people do this, where they come, why would somebody say something to a child? It empowered them on some level from the dark place that they were coming from, that they may not even know where that's coming from or why they would say something like that. They may not even know what triggers that kind of stuff. They're probably clueless. But I guarantee you it comes from something that happened to them or how they grew up or they were told, and that they believed it was okay to speak that way, or they're just, you're a target. But we don't have to sit and analyze. So now a lot of you, we like to do this as humans. I know I did. We'll analyze. I'm the total opposite now. I'm like, who cares? Why do I need to? I don't need to know anything. And yes, sometimes I'll try and understand things if it's helpful in a situation. Like, okay, oh, wait a second. Oh, this is how they're thinking. Okay, now maybe here's how I can improve the situation or whatever. But here's how it works. It's like you can sit there and go, oh, Mrs. Smith, she wasn't feeling good about herself. And this, no, maybe she felt great about herself. She just thought she was doing you a favor by saying that. Or she just dense. She's dense. You won't know. You'll never know. You don't need to know. So just do know it's not about you. How can somebody call you a quitter? You're a child. Maybe you had a pattern of something. You could change anything you want. I used to procrastinate. Ooh-wee. I was good at that. You know why? And somebody else was saying this on the comments. They procrastinate. They put things off. I said, you know why? Because goals are great to always have. It's very exciting. And there's no challenges in that. So you keep putting it off, and pretty soon, you haven't done anything. You haven't gotten closer to your goals. It's still this wonderful dream you're going to do and be. Because as soon as you have to go after it, the reality is going to sink in that maybe you're going to have some challenges along the way, or maybe it's not going to happen the way you thought it would, and then it's not so much exciting anymore. You're doing the work, the not so fun part. The dreaming was great. So people put it off because they love to be in that state of having these beautiful dreams that they're going to, have a company or that, and they're not doing a damn thing. They're checking their email or Facebook every day. Twitter, all that garbage. It's not garbage, okay. I'm not a big fan of wasting time on it. Hold on. So I have friends coming over for dinner and movie night tonight. I'm cooking, and I've got 2 Christmas trees up. I might put a 3rd one up here shortly. And this is a time to celebrate. Every day's a day. This is gonna be like outdated, like in a nanosecond. Every day's a day to celebrate. And what you believe you are and what you're capable of is whatever you choose. I don't care if you have never had an artistic bone in your body, and yet you want to do something artistic, just go do it. Quit the thinking, the analyzing, and start letting all that go. When you realize where some of this is coming, like my friend who said, wow, 45 years, and this one person that they looked up to called them a quitter, always stuck with them. But you've been labeled. That's not a label that is attached to you permanently. It's not tattooed. You can rip it off. How do you do that? Well, if you know you're not a quitter, then don't be a quitter. Hang in there and see things through. And maybe you just handle things differently anyways. Maybe you just live your life differently than other people. Don't be so hard on yourself. But I have to tell you right now that we all have those labels and comments that were made to us that have really stuck with us, and some of them are positive. I want you to remember that you are a clean slate. You are whoever you want to be at any moment. People have proven that over and over and over again, that we have that ability, that power to pull in whatever we want to, because you have access to the collective consciousness. Every personality trait, positive and negative, exists right now, and you can take it on. And you, of course, have natural gifts and things that you have, that you chose to bring into this lifetime. Use those. And if you don't think you're a quitter, then don't be one. But don't make that prediction come true. And use those words to inspire you. So now think about that. You know what? Somebody says I'm a quitter, it always bothers me. I'm darn well not a quitter. In fact, I am going to do everything in my power to make sure that I'm successful in whatever terms you deem that, in everything I go after. I'm never going to quit. I have a video called Never Quit. I'm Miss Never Quit. So, because when you don't quit, even if it doesn't turn out the way you want, you're still being moved on and expanding to something different. So maybe that invention is, somebody else has it or whatever. But you've started and opened a door that's going to create something else. And then that creates something else. So there's no such thing as losing. There's no such thing as failure. So why quit? Keep going, because you're going to continue. It's a path. It's not a destination. So, yes, people can have a major effect on us. I actually have a whole 1 week that I spend on that in my course that's going to be released next year. And make people recognize that has had a profound effect on you. So can you release it? Can you? So here's your assignment right now. Can you forgive that person and use that statement to inspire you? You're fat. Can you say, okay, wow, they're coming from an angry, dark place. I feel for them. I have compassion, because we all do. We all come from that place on occasion. That's not a good place to be. Send them light and love and say, I'm going to use that and make sure you're not fat. Go jog and eat healthy and say, you know what? See, you're wrong, because I can be whoever I want. And if you want to be fat, be fat. But be fat and happy, right? Same thing with your looks or anything else. Your perspective is whatever you choose. It's based on your beliefs and what you're choosing to believe. Nobody ever told you anything that you didn't choose to adopt and take forward. And as soon as you became conscious of that, which you are now, you get to change whatever you don't like. Right? So now there's no excuses for anything, because you're conscious. You've been made aware of that. So now you get to choose something different. Now that you know that those statements are just false statements, they're not real, now it's up to you to make the choice to believe something different and start taking the responsibility for it. So do it. And good for you for recognizing that statement from 45 years ago. Yeah, you can shake it off. You're whole, perfect, strong, powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy, prosperous, abundant, joyful, peaceful. Got my coffee cup in my hand. Sending you light and love. Blessings. Namaste.